Hello everybody, Ashes101 here, and a very warm welcome to another episode from the KrankyKraft server. And you know I'm a sucker for these sunsets. So let's watch the sun go down. As I, first of all, apologise, Mr. Week, last week didn't manage to get an episode out, so sorry about that, but never mind, I'm back now. Just life got in the way, nothing too disastrous. I have managed to be playing. I've been on the server. I've been playing, but my windows of opportunity to record are unfortunately not as big as my windows to play, if you know what I mean. You know, and in the chance I had to record, it just other stuff needed doing, so I couldn't. But as I say, never mind that. I have been on. I have been playing, and let's see. Fair bits happened. Tool-wise, I'll just give you an update. We're on Diggity 3 now. Accidentally broke Diggity 2. So Diggity 3 has been made. That was pretty lucky, because that was my first. I just did a level 30 enchant, and that was the first thing I got. Efficiency 4 and breaking 3, and that's exactly what I want Diggity to be. No fortune, because that just makes it more expensive to repair. So we're happy with that. The sword. The sword's had a bit of work on it. We've upgraded to looting 3, finally. There is a massive difference in my mind between looting 2 and looting 3. Looting 2 is rubbish. Looting 1, I don't even notice any difference. You know, you might get the odd extra item. Looting 2 still seems rubbish, but looting 3, all of a sudden, you're getting 5 and 6 things. You know, it's really great. So I always wanted him to be level 3. And with that, he deserved a naming. So he's the tickler. He'll just tickle you. He's not sharpness 5. He's just sharpness 4. He won't slice you. He'll just give you a tickle. Bow's still just Bow. Maybe we'll rename him. Give me some suggestions. I don't know what to call that. Flame Bow. Power 5, Punch 2, Flame 1. It's damn good Bow. I want to keep hold of that. Deserves a name, I think. He's been good to me. But I don't know what to call him. So suggestions welcomed. Now, let's see. Moving on. I want to show you what I've been up to. Mainly, I've been working on 2 things. One of them is in the labyrinth, and it's the other side of the ashtray room here. Now, the eagle-eyed of you might have noticed that that's smooth stone and not brick now. The ashtray is being worked on. And I don't think it's been shown yet, so I have no real way of... Right, I'm going to have to cut. Hang on, I'm going to cut this. Okay, there we go. We're through the ashtray, because I don't think it's been shown yet, and I don't want to spoil anything there, because there's some impressive stuff going on. Right, so we're through that, and this is the first thing I've been working on is this room. This is, we called it. Well, I say that Cranky named it, really. It's the now what do you call him? Bird of Prey. The Bird of Prey room. We called this. I don't think it'll be called that anymore. But it was just when we built it. It'll be hard to tell, but I should have gone up on the top scaffolding to show you actually. But these staircases here, mixed with that corridor going off in that direction. From the top, when you're looking at it, the outline of this, it's like a Klingon bird of prey. It wasn't deliberate, it just happened to be like that. But anyway, yeah, this room I had honestly completely forgotten about. I was just doing a walk round with Kirok. We were just having a look at everything that had been done and trying to take a tally of what still needed doing and all of that stuff. And he was like, well, what rooms still need doing? I was like, okay, well, there's this one and this one. To be honest, most rooms are pretty much taken now. I think at this point now, actually, because this was a couple of weeks ago, obviously, I think at this point every room is now accounted for. It's either finished or somebody is working on it, which is great. There's still a couple of odd sort of corridor sections, funny shaped bits, that aren't the standard corridors, and bits and bobs like that need sorting. But they're minor details, they're minor details. I've done 1 or 2 of them. I think I've shown you before. There was that little fountain thing I did near the Emerald Room and stuff like that, if you remember. So just every now and then, when the inspiration takes me, I'll just do one of those. And then this room we ended up walking through, and I was like, well, goddamn, completely forgot about this room. Forgot it even existed. and you know, pretty much everyone's contributed at this point. You know, I didn't feel like I could just order somebody to do it, so I thought, well, you know what, I'll do this, because I know I said I was going to work on traps, and that's what we're going to move on to next. But yeah, just in between, I wanted to get this room done. So as you can see, we've got the two big sweeping staircases. This is basically symmetrical, so just nicely lit up. And I went with what do you call these now? Nether brick fences. With nether brick, we got some cobble in there just for contrast. I had all cobble fences I was using. And the nether brick fences were actually my wife's suggestion. I was asking her to look at what I was doing and tell me what you think. You know, all these were cobble fences. And yeah, she suggested the nether brick fences, and I was like, well, yeah, I completely forgot they existed. So so we used them. This wall across here, the wall, I've stuck with the nether brick stairs, fences bits with the iron bars in the middle, so it just kind of sticks with the theme of the labyrinth, but it's a little bit different from how it's done anywhere else. We've got this, that's actually 6 pieces, if you can tell, but because those top ones and the bottom ones there are stair pieces, the bars don't connect just there. They only connect to the solid block in the middle, so what you end up with is this kind of iron bar cross shape, which I haven't really seen that used anywhere else, I don't think, so I thought that looked kind of cool. Munch, munch, munch. And then moving on to the central section. Here, obviously, the first thing really you notice is the big redstone ore tower in the middle, kind of obelisk. I just wanted to add some colour to the room, basically. You know, the redstone blocks themselves, they have significance around being used around red base, but ore blocks are fine, they're fine to use, so it was a nice way to get a bit of bright colour in here. When I first placed them, I was absolutely delighted because they were all giving off particles and it looked incredible. And then I did something else and I came back to it and they'd stopped just like this, just flat. And I read up on it, and they only do the particle things. I'll show you now, in fact. Let's just... There you go. If I punch them all... That's what it looked like when I built it, and I thought, freaking awesome! If it was like that every time you walked in the room, how cool is that? But if we stay here, it does that for, you know, I don't know, 30 seconds, a minute, and then they kind of switch off and go back to normal again. Of course, we've all seen that happen when you're mining redstone, but it only happens apparently when you punch them, or like if you walk over them. But you can't power them. You know, I was more than happy to power them from underneath and above and stuff like that to make them do this, but that doesn't work apparently. It's only when you punch them or walk on them. So yes, that's that. On the floor, I wanted to something a bit different. I just wanted to explore different textures, different materials and stuff like that. So these are actually ferni down here. They do of course give a functionality. You know, anybody can access these. But I sat there for a few minutes and I thought, you know what? I really don't see why it would be useful for somebody to use a furnace during the match. The only thing I could think of that somebody could use it for that would be realistically possibly useful is if they had, for example, a raw piece of meat, a raw beef, or something like that. And they had maybe a couple of sticks or a wooden sword or something like that they might have, that they could theoretically cook a piece of beef with by putting their wooden sword in there. And I thought, you know what, if people want to do that, I don't see any reason why they couldn't, you know, because that's major disadvantage. You'd have to give up a sword, or maybe they might have a stone sword that they have and they can afford to lose the wooden item. So they'd have to sacrifice an item to do that, and they'd have to wait around while it cooked, wait around in this room. So I don't see that as giving anybody any great advantage. So I thought, yeah, that's absolutely fine. If people wanna use them furnaces, then there's no reason why they can't. I'm not giving anybody an unfair advantage there. And then around the edge here, obviously, as you can see, we've got these 4 kind of corner areas. just to add a little bit of cover to the room, and obviously give some people stuff to fight around. Not too good defensively. These holes are more for the attackers, because as you can see, you can't see down the stairs there. I felt that would possibly give, if I'd have had the gap here, it possibly would give the defenders here too much of an advantage. So this is more for cover. You know, to use this as a defender, you're going to have to peek round the edge here, and you have this for cover. But while you're using it for cover, the attackers will be able to pop some arrows through this side and get you in the head. So that's the idea there. Some little holes in there just to help balance the room, give attackers to the room a little bit of fairness as well. And apart from that, that's pretty much it. The ceiling, actually, I spent a bit of time on the ceiling. Did a lot of messing around and just used some stair blocks and some lighting above. So this works whether it's day or night. This is lit from above to give this, you see the kind of shadows and contrast effect without using different materials up in there, which I think that looks kind of nice. And some more some more fences just to finish it off. So there we go. That's that room. It doesn't really have a name anymore, but it was the bird of prey room. Why is there a spider? There should not be a spider up there. I'll have to check I've lit up correctly up there. Okay, right. That's shown you. That's what I've been up to. I did mention I'd been up to 2 things since last episode, but this is the only one I'm showing you. The other one is not in the labyrinth, but the other one is a little secret project, unbeknownst to you possibly. I've had a couple of secret projects on the go for a little while now. The first one got interrupted when the labyrinth came about, and the second one I've just recently started working on. And actually it's about half done already. So it's just a couple of things, you know, just to move on to once the labyrinth is finished. You know, I'm just looking ahead, and just obviously, like I say, just every now and then I like a little break from the labby, just to break things up and keep it interesting for me. So I'm just hovering about here because I got to go through the ashtray again, so I'm gonna have to cut again. Hang on. Okay, and we're back. So we're going to head round here, and like I say, the next sort of thing I am working on is traps. We're going to work on traps, and it's one of those things, you know, like with the corridors, where it's going to be fun the first couple of times, but after that it's going to kind of be a little bit of a repetitive thing. But I wanted to bring you guys in. I thought a nice thing for this episode will be to do one together. Yeah, and then I can do the rest off camera, as it were. Now, I've got a little bit of setting up done. I've just picked a location. It's just around the corner from the ashtray. The ashtray is just around there, and this will be our first location. So we're going to want that. Oh, that goes just there. Our little dispenser, and of course the piston is going to move. Piston's going to be under there, which will move the block up, which will be that block there. It'll grab, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 pressure plates across there. Now remember, I've shown you this before. This was BDA's original design, which I'm sticking with, mainly because, well, a couple of reasons. First of all, it's not too resource intensive, A, and B, it's very, very simple, and that means a couple of things. That means A, I'm giving you a lot of lists here. This is subsection A. It means I'm able to do them because it's simple, and B, I like simple redstone things because there's less to go wrong. You know, they do change, like, you know, we had 1.5 as a redstone update. They changed how a lot of redstone stuff worked, and it broke a lot of people's overly complex and silly machines. That's what happens, and you never know, it might happen again. So the simpler something is, the less likely it's going to need to be changed in the future, especially useful like in things like these traps, where they're going to be all over the place, difficult to access on the outside for maintenance, and you know, it's hard to, if you want to make a change, it's going to be hard to even know that you've got them all done. I'm going to run along because I need to go outside now, and I'm not cutting again. We're going to cut through the ash tree. I'm just going right round the edge. There's some stone slabs in it now. There you go. Spoiler. I don't think that's too bad. But we'll... Oh, I wanted to do that because we're going over here. Damn Enderman, look at it. You make a lovely 900,000 block hole. And Enderman got to spoil it. Alright, I'll put that there so I can do that. I'm in the wall. This has been happening a lot recently, this enderballing in the wall stuff, and half the time I start suffocating, you know, and all you can see is that, and you start... It scares the hell out of me every time. Right, yes, that's that block I popped out, isn't it? So, let's see. So we're gonna want... Which ones are the pressure plates under? Oh, man. I don't want to break those because the pressure plates are there. Watch. Right, hang on. That's the thing. That'll be the stair block. Meaning 1, 2, 3, 4 pressure plates. Should be. Shouldn't it? Should be this one. So that would be there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Like this. Right, I think that's right. Now, I should have left a marker really for that. Never mind. Now, I'm trying something a little bit different here. I've never done this before. I've only ever recorded in full screen to get my resolution right. But I use something called Magic Launcher. I don't know if you know it. It makes Optifine very easy to install. You just drag a zip file in pretty much. But what it does mean is that it gives me an option to set specific resolutions for startup and stuff like that. So I should be recording at 720p here, but I've got it windowed for once because I've got a little drawing here next to me, not a drawing, a screenshot of how the piston wants to be right there, of how the trap should be. Right, the piston... Okay, you get out of the way for a second. Because the piston... Right, the piston should be on top of that block, right? I think? That looks right. Okay, so... Where's a piston? Where's a piston? Piston should be on top of that block. And I'm back inside. Ah, man. Well... Let's just repair that up afterwards. I can test the redstone. Yeah, you got it right. Yeah, okay, right. That's not what it's going to do. I'll tell you what. I can pop out here. They're all just normal blocks. That's the only piston we're going to need, so I can do that again, and we're back on the scaffolding. Okay, so then... Let's see. This is a planned episode. You wouldn't believe it, but now the redstone needs to go. I don't think that wants to be there. I think the redstone wants to go circumvent the piston, like so, and then looks like one more, and then there should be that one there. Has got a torch on it, which will power the piston ordinarily. Very good. And then it should have redstone on it, which means that should be there. Huh. and we come up here and we bring the redstone line up here. That's correct. Yep, that's right. Yep. And then one more. I'm just doing my usual thing here of just using the dirt for scaffolding and using the bricks to signify any blocks that like should actually be there, if you know what I mean. There, and then this there, and then interestingly enough, the redstone should go on top of this block. Crap! Because that's got a fence in front of it. Ooh! That's an issue. Because that's how the... That's shift. There. That's how the redstone is that BDA had it. And that's pretty much it. That's the whole contraption. But that can't be there because I need the that leaves a gap there. I don't want to mess with that because that'll be too obvious. Then that'll be giving you away where the trap is. So we are going to perhaps have to reroute this because it's just a timing thing, isn't it? Because the main thing is obviously when you step on the pressure plates, it'll send the redstone signal along here. That'll deactivate the redstone torch, which brings the piston down. Meanwhile, the signal's going up here, and then when it gets on top, it powers this guy while the piston is retracted, and then obviously the signal goes again and the piston goes back up. So it's nicely timed. And it all works beautifully. But I did not consider that it's just going to get in the way of that block there. Interesting. Okay, I'll tell you what, because this episode's going to go over, I'm going to pause recording here, and I'm going to have a little thinky and a little look at this off camera. So be back in a sec. Well, I am stuck. I just confound it. I've put it back how it was, and I've had to put in replace that fence in the middle with another brick. I mean, it'll look alright and everything else, but it kind of is a visual indicator that there's a trap there. I don't know how bad that is, because I mean, to me, you can see these pressure plates pretty easily, even from a bit of a distance. I can see them, from here. I mean, a big idea of these is that they will be set off, obviously accidentally, but in the heat of battle, you'll be running or you'll be doing something, and you'll accidentally set them off. So you might know they're there, but you set them off anyway. So I don't know. Let me know what you think. If anyone's got any genius ideas, just let me know. But that is unfortunate that that's just not gone around that. But I couldn't figure out a way, because I was thinking as well. Obviously, we're going to want to have the hey sheep, you're going to move. But I was thinking as well, you're going to want the tube coming down with the hopper going in, presumably the back of it, seeing as it can't go in the top. So presumably we'll have a hopper coming in the back of it here to refill it from the control room. And that's going to further restrict space and things like that. So that's something. In fact, you're already going to have to use two hoppers, aren't you? Because if you had a hopper coming out the back here, you can't have a block on the corner here, like where my head is now, because that will cut this circuit. It'll touch the corner of that block and cut this circuit. So you're going to have hopper, and then a hopper, and then the tube, I suppose. Oh, it gets more and more complicated as you go. But well, this is the problems of sort of modular design, and having one person design one thing while somebody else is designing another part of the same bit. Then you're going to encounter problems like this. But it's kind of unavoidable. Especially being cut off time zone wise from most of the guys. Like, as I always say, I don't get to speak to a lot of them as often as I would like to. And even though half the time when I see somebody, I've logged off, and then I like remember 6 hours later, oh, I wanted to ask him about something. So whatever, it works. It works. Let's put the finishing touches in. I'll clean up the scaffolding afterwards and stuff like this, because this episode is running long anyway. Shall have them back. So we're going to want a block on there, and we're going to want a stair on there. Let's say I'll go out afterwards and exit that, but well, if for the purposes of showing you, I suppose I'll have that there, and we'll have that there. Okay, so the corridor is sealed up again. And it was meant to be that all we had in here was just the 4 pressure plates, but obviously we do have that lack of a fence there now. That's kind of a visual indicator. Should I at least do the same thing on the other side? Should I go around the whole labby and make some of them like this, so you never know whether there's one there or not? I don't know. I mean, the traps can be put... you'd have the same problem if you tried to put one there. They could be put there. Could you have one there? Yeah, you probably could. You could probably put one in the pillars there. You don't want them all in pillars though. Then you just have 2 there. They'd probably be a bit easier to avoid. You could have some like that though. But otherwise, that's going to be part of that every time. So it may just have to be like that. As I say, if you have any suggestions, let me know. But yeah, so obviously the idea is, in fact, let's just stock them on up here. I'll give you some arrows and test it out on me. I'll take my boots off. No need to waste their durability. And I'll eat a steak so I don't die while I'm showing you. Hopefully not. Anyway, yeah, so the idea is you're running along. This works great with splash potions, because they can get you even if you're sprinting. If I suspect if I sprint, I may escape the arrow here, so let's test it. Yep. But did you hear that? Oh, look at that. Worked perfectly. And I can recollect. Beautiful. Yeah, that worked absolutely beautifully. Oh! But see, if you dawdle, just walk in. Yeah, just walk in, you can get away if it's narrow. Oh, that one got me actually. Okay, so maybe 50-50. If you're just walking, it's going to get you. That's interesting, because I do want hunger. I don't want there to be a lot of food available. I do want food to be a restricted thing, so sprinting will be a strategic decision, if you know what I mean, or a tactical decision anyway. So you might not always want to sprint. Ooh! Got me again. Yeah, that's pretty good. That's working nicely. And obviously, like I say, I'm going to have to take one to the face here to retrieve my arrows. Now! No! Get off! Open! I can't get out. It keeps hitting me. Okay. Alright. I'm losing arrows here. Let's take them out of here. Obviously, if you're quick, you may be able to right click as that's happening and gain access to the dispenser, but that is just a sportsmanship issue that just people will be simply expected not to do. So anyway, yeah, look, other than taking down the scaffolding, that concludes it. So that's a standard trap, if you like. We can do some variations of. Obviously, depending on what's in there, you could have fire charges in there, do some serious damage. You can have splash potions in there. There might be healing potions, for all I know. I don't know, but certainly you could have them filled with potions of weakness, potions of... Can you get slowness potions? I can't remember. They're annoying if you can. I feel like I've seen them, but I can't remember if they're in vanilla or not. But yeah, certainly stuff like weakness and potions of harming and stuff like that, they're a great thing to have in there. And you know, you can do variations. We can do variations. There could be a place where we could have a little bank of them. I might see if there's any way of hooking up like a few together. But again, that's wiring, and I'm too stupid. I'm just too stupid. So anyway, this episode's running long. I'm going to cut it here. Hope you enjoyed seeing obviously the new room and putting together our first trap. I'm going to keep myself busy in the interim, putting in plenty of these. Don't know how many we're going to put in at the moment, but you know, there should be a decent number. I don't want like every corridor section to have one or anything, you know. They do just, because if they're everywhere, you're just going to spend the whole time just jumping along like this and avoiding them, and it won't do you any good, and it'll be a bit of a wasted effort. So I want them rare enough that they might get people every now and then. So yeah, otherwise, apart from that, I've been Ashes101. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.